This week's episode of the High Level Release Radar, where we recap all of the new releases that rolled out from the week. Happy Friday, Ryan.
Happy Friday. We made it.
We did make it. Another Friday. Let me send us live into the Facebook group. I don't see the stream yet. As always, if you can see us and you can hear us, please say hello in the comments. And I still don't see us, but it says that we're streaming. So maybe we'll just keep, oh, there it is. I'm going to share us into the group, official community, High Level Release Radar, and boom, we should be live. All right. I feel like there were some really great releases this week, although I can't remember what they are. So I feel like I'm going to get to re-experience the magic of this week's releases. What do you say we hop into it?
Good.
All right. Let's pull this up. And our first release of the week, Enhanced Terms and Conditions Compliance. This one I feel like stinks, but it was necessary. We had to do it. You want to give us the backstory here?
Yeah, so there's a lot of, I wouldn't say moving targets, but changing requirements on the compliance front. So we started off with a banger this week in making sure that all of the forms that folks submit are compliant with the powers that be. We don't make the rules, we just follow them. So,
yeah, and that's what's important, right? This stuff is coming from the carriers. Carriers are getting more and more strict with text messaging and A2P. And so now they want a double checkbox. Okay, here's your double checkbox. So hopefully you all are having your A2Ps get approved again in a timely manner as we stay compliant and ensure that our customers are able to do text message marketing.
Just as an important note here, this is not like automatic. You've got to add it to the forms. We didn't want to go through and just change all the forms all at once. So as far as I know, you're going to need to go back and just add a new element, and then these will automatically get brought in.
Yep. Happy A2Ping, everybody. Next update from the week, we have new opportunity action enhancements.
Yeah, so this one's kind of nuanced. I don't have a great way to show this, but they added support for dynamic custom value pickers for all the numeric and date fields. So that's super important because those are used a ton in opportunities. And then they also allow you to use standard input or switch to the dynamic values. So that can provide some more flexibility there, as well as new field type for rendering text box lists in custom values. So if you use opportunities a lot and you've been using these new actions, which of course the old ones will still work, but the new ones moving forward, these are the ones that we use. They've got a lot more options for you to slice and dice all of your data.
Yep. A couple of those things I saw a bunch of people asking for, which made total sense. Now they're there. Should be good to rock. I see some shout outs coming in. Tyler saying howdy. Happy Friday to you, Tyler. We've got a let's go from the Marketing Alchemist. That's a cool name. Thanks for checking in. And then a hello from a familiar face, Tina. And she makes a good point. This means less A2P rejections as well. It does. So again, hopefully everybody's experiencing that now and are back in the rhythm there. Our next update was a really cool one. We now have activity tracking for estimates. So you can see just basically every step of the way.
Exactly. So once you send the estimate out, you get to see all the history from that it was sent, edited, viewed, accepted, and everything in between as we add more statuses.
Yeah, that one's super cool. Looks great. Our next update is one with sub-account transfers and eject permissions. So you now have more granular control over who can do that, I assume?
Yes. Yeah. So this would be on a per user basis. And the big ticket here, the big idea is that we want to give agencies and sub-account owners in particular control to make sure that folks can't just eject their sub-account without knowing what they're doing. So important permission there.
Makes sense to have.
There are checks and balances along the way, but we don't want to show the option. We don't want to give them the button if they don't need it.
Yep, seems kind of important, and now it's there. Our next update was for the ad manager. We now have sales objectives for meta ads, which is sweet. So this continues to get more robust.
Yeah, so more and more parity with the actual platforms and making sure we have all the objectives and all the different settings that you would need without making it super complicated. So this is just another, add objective, which is called the sales type. So it uses a different algorithm to go through and display those ads.
Hmm. Question from Luke coming in. Is there any chance we'll see more granular control over invoices? I mean, the easy answer, yes, of course, there's going to be more granular control over everything. But Luke, I think this is a good opportunity to plug the daily town halls that Ryan runs. Great opportunity to jump on with those product teams and, talk through what you want to see happen and get a better answer as far as an ETA. What's the URL, Ryan? I think we actually have it.
Yeah, it's gohighlevel.com/town hall. And you can sign up for reminders there, as well as look at the calendar itself to see when a particular product you're interested in would be coming up. I'm looking at the calendar rapidly here, try and look for invoices, and I think that that's going to be in a couple of weeks here.
Awesome. Cool. So hopefully you can make the town hall. Next up, this one's really cool. So Ad Manager now got an image editor. So when you're creating your ad, if you upload a photo and you need to crop it, you want to add some text or whatever, you can do all that without having to leave Ad Manager inside of HighLevel. I'm stoked on this, and I'm like, when is it going to make its way to Media Library, which the team tells me is in the works right now as well. So super exciting.
Yeah, and you can do a lot of like basic stuff here that you would ordinarily have take it out to another third-party program, re-upload it, makes it really cumbersome. So if you're just trying to use a brush and like highlight something, add some stickers, emojis, you can do all your basics there, which makes it super convenient for most use cases.
Yeah, totally. I'm really excited this is out and excited to see where this goes. Next up, we had an update on the payment side of things. We added the missing support for NMI or authorized.net. Where exactly?
Yeah, so this is in a bunch of different areas. So like listing saved cards, charging cards without a default provider, recording payments for invoices. There's a bunch of little gaps here and there that have been filled in. So
Nice.
there's a full list in the presentation if you want to take a look at the speaker notes, but there's a bunch there.
Great. So if you've been like, hey, why can't I use NMI here? You probably can now. So go check that out. Next up was an update for template library. We now have similar templates for faster search. This is a really cool sort of just intuitive update, I would say.
Yeah. It's always nice, like if you're on Spotify or Apple Music and you're listening to something, you see something kind of cool and you see related things that you may also like. It's the same idea here, but for templates.
Yeah, this is great. You're also going to see a lot of new templates roll in that look really great. We're putting a big push towards adding a big batch of new website templates that are looking awesome. They're really close to being loaded up into the system. So you'll see those roll out in the near future as well. Listings got an update this week. We now have suggestions.
Yeah. So this is like a revamped UI for suggestions on things that you should do to help your listings, places you should be listed. So if you haven't checked out online listings, go ahead and do that. This happens to be a labs feature right now. I think it's going live next week or so to everybody. But if you want to check it out early and play around with it, go to the lab settings to enable it, and you'll see a bunch of great enhancements there as well.
Nice. Looks like we have another screenshot of that.
Yeah, this is just kind of showing the breakdown in a couple different areas of the UI.
Okay, awesome. Next up was an update to the recently rolled out call scripts.
Yes, so call scripts are amazing, especially if you're doing a lot of outbound calls and you've got a team that you want them to stick to the script. So what happens here, we're just kind of showing the back end. You got to go into phone numbers. It's a little bit buried. I think we're going to have a nice deep link to that within the conversations view or the phone dialer. But you go into your phone numbers, you go to advanced settings, go to call scripts, and that's where you can add different call scripts. And then on the next slide, you'll see the actual UI when you're in the dialer. That will pull up right next to the dialer, so you have everything to reference, and then you can switch between scripts. So let's say you're doing some outbound calling, but then they had some support question, or maybe they have like a specialized product they want to go into. So you can have different scripts to make sure that you have the right context for the conversation.
Yeah, this is awesome. Was there an update here? Because I could, is it Groundhog Day, or did we not announce this one last week as well?
This was not live last week. Yeah.
Okay.
We kind of teased it, but this didn't come out at the same time. Yeah.
Okay. I'm still lost in the sauce, Ryan. So this is now out for everybody. Super pumped up on this one. Call scripts is a feature that I've been waiting to see for years now, and I'm so glad we finally got it pushed out. So yeah, if you've got teams making calls, it's always a good idea to make sure they stay on script. You can load those up. Looks like Gregory is loving them as well. I think we could associate different scripts to context. I'm sure you'll see it get more robust as we progress now that it's out the door. But yeah, there's all sorts of cool stuff that we can do with call scripts, and excited to see it progress from here.
Mm-hmm.
Next update, e-commerce got an update. We have enhanced interaction effects for store elements. Oh, I didn't even see this one. That's cool.
Yeah, so this is something you can switch off, switch on to your liking, but a lot of e-com stores have this sort of like subtle zoom in effect. So there's a bunch of new effects that got rolled out to those elements throughout the store.
Nice. That's fun. Media storage got an update. We now have insert media enhancements. I love this one. I think it was a little confusing to me before, where if you opened up a thing, you double click it, but if you didn't know to double click, it wasn't like clear. So now there are, when you select something, you'll see the button at the bottom right to make it really clear. You can still double click. I think this is just more of like intuitive for new users that might not be familiar with the system.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a longer clip, so I split this one up. On the next one, you'll see the other way that you can insert, which would be when you're previewing the image, you can select that as well. So go to preview, and you'll see your insert button in the preview.
Nice. Love it. Let's see. Another question from the young CEO. We get this question all the time. Are we going to do outbound voice? Maybe, if it stays legal. Right now, you have to get people to double opt in. Who's going to double opt in to receive a sales call from a robot? So it's on the back burner. We're sort of monitoring the situation. I personally don't think it's going to be legal for very much longer. So we'll see how it goes. But I would challenge you to ask yourself, do you want to receive a call from an AI agent trying to sell you something? Because I don't think I would.
Yeah.
Next up, forms, surveys, quizzes now have inline editing. This one is massive. I didn't even know this was in the works, but this is amazing.
Yeah, this is, I was completely blown away by this one. Really easy to use, really intuitive, and especially for sort of new users or folks that aren't used to using big form editors, I think this just makes a lot of sense to be able to click where you want to edit and edit that. A WYSIWYG inside the actual editor is great.
Yeah, and I was impressed to see what you just showed off in the GIF, like even the drop-down options, all of that stuff. You can just edit right in line.
Yeah, add stuff, delete it, move it around even. I didn't do that.
A huge project, but there it is, out in the wild. So test that out if you haven't yet. Looks great. Ecom got another update. We now have default sorting option for the product list page. So basically more control over what orders the products get displayed. Yep.
Yeah. So when you come to the landing page, you can display it however you want your users to initially view it. And then, of course, they can change the filtering and sorting as they like. Nice.
We got a couple more comments coming in. The phone calls from AI are good to remember appointments for customers. Yeah, you could sell me on that. And I think if we do roll it out, this is what it will basically be. Hey, they double opted in to receive voice call reminders for their appointment. Again, do I really want to be called to remind me about my reservation? I don't know, maybe, but we'll see how it goes.
Different generations may, yeah.
David checking in from Jacksonville. Nice to see you, David. We're actually heading to an event in St. Augustine. Is that what it's called? I think. But I'm flying into the Jacksonville airport on Tuesday is all I know. So I'll be in your neck of the woods. Hopefully it's going to be nice.
That's as far as Chase has gotten. He's getting it.
It's an awesome town. WhatsApp update. We now have coexistence available for all of the supported countries. This is such a huge step. And I know if you're not in one of these countries, it's really frustrating. We feel you. It's not us, it's Meta. We're really hoping that they open it up to all of the markets in the near future. I've heard whisperings that in Q2 that might happen. But if you are in one of the supported countries, coexistence is available. Ryan, do you want to explain to us what that means, coexistence?
Sure. Coexistence is the ability to have your phone app, WhatsApp. This is an odd thing to say. The WhatsApp phone app on your phone connected to your business number and everything. And then at the same time, in parallel, that all the features within HighLevel work with that same number. So you get things like being able to use that number with workflows, messaging, conversation, that kind of thing. So it's a parallel track so that they both work at the exact same time. Before, you kind of had to choose one or the other, and now we're giving you the ability to have both of them working simultaneously. Because a lot of folks don't want to give up their app just to work within HighLevel. They want to keep the WhatsApp phone app on their phone.
Yeah, this was kind of a big barrier to a lot of adoption, and we were just waiting on Meta. So now that they opened it up, we've got it. With this, I will say, public service announcement, Meta also announced that they're going to start cracking down on third-party apps that are not using the official Meta API. There are only like a handful of companies in the world that have permission to use the Meta API like we do. So if you are using a third-party hacky workaround type of WhatsApp automation tool, keep in mind it's going to be shut down in the near future. Just a heads up. This is a funny comment from Brian. I usually watch release radars Saturdays at 2x speed. Hearing you guys talk not super fast is throwing me off. That's funny. How did you too, Brian? Let's check out our next release of the week. Mobile payments. We have view, update, and delete cards right within the mobile app.
Great update here. The mobile app is getting super awesome, and the ability to make these changes on the fly, I could see being very helpful, especially if you're, I don't know, you're running like a yoga studio or something where you have people coming in left and right and like, hey, I want to update my card or delete this or that. You can do it on the go.
You know what that is, Ryan?
That is fancy.
That is fancy. That is a fancy.
I was grabbing for it deep in my brain.
Update right there. Bart wants to know, when would voice AI be made available for non-English customers? It already is, right? I think it's out in 16 languages or something.
Yeah.
So check it out, Bart. You should, I mean, assuming you're in one of those languages, you should be good to go. Let's see. Next question from Rajesh. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. In phone scripts, can AI conclude the call and suggest what the team members should have done? I think all of this stuff is in the realm of possibility, and I think you'll see it go in this direction now that it's out. So don't have a solid answer there, but I'm just pumped that it's out, and now you're going to see it get more and more robust. Tina's got a WhatsApp question here. Any update on the tool to move marketing WhatsApps to utility? Yes, we are actually working on an AI button that will do just that.
Yes.
And which is going to be awesome, because I will say, so we were at the Vietnam event, right? And we do raffles at our events. And when we do them internationally, we have WhatsApp reminders and stuff. But mixed in there, we also have marketing messages. And it's often a game of cat and mouse to get your reminder approved as a utility and not a marketing message. Well, now you're going to have AI be able to help you. So that process will be easier in the near future. That the team's working hard on that right now because they want to get it out before Meta starts cracking down on all that stuff.
Yeah. And one more thing on that. The question came up in a town hall. Is this going to be a charge thing because it's AI? We're not planning on charging for it. So
nice. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Our next update, opportunities. We now have contact engagement scoring. Is this a filter for opportunities, Ryan?
It's a field that can be included now.
Okay.
So yeah, it's basically available in the list view and in what they're calling the Kanban view or the card view. It will only appear for newly created or updated opportunities. So Just a
Okay.
heads up there. Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
I see a bunch of comments, people clarifying the languages. It sounds like we have voice AI out right now in German, French, and Spanish, but as Jorge points out, there are accents and dialects within those languages that we still need to add. It's all coming. Maybe Ryan has a better update on when more of that is going to roll out, but we're definitely working on it.
Yeah, no definitive timelines, but there's a lot happening with internationalization and particularly on the voice AI stuff. So
To that point, when are we getting native appointment booking for voice AI? That is being worked on right now, and I believe is very close. I think I saw something the other day. So you should expect to see that roll out in the very near future. LinkedIn user. Didn't show us your name. Our next update from the week, we have voice AI dashboard, unified connected filtering, smart column management. Basically, the reporting got even better.
yeah, that's all I could surmise from this. Um, we've got a lot of test accounts and stuff, and I was playing around with it. Really cool. So we've got unified filtering, connected filters, so like the agent ID, date range, executed actions, stuff like that. And then we've got smart column management for selecting actions triggered, showing what actions, what happened when they were leaving the call, like what actions got triggered there. So
Hmm.
tons of data, slice and dice it lots of different ways now, and you're off to the races.
It's just getting so good. I mean, as it's
Mhm.
reporting gets better and better, and I imagine you'll be able to turn this into like automated email reports at a certain point. The product of selling voice AI is just so appealing. I firmly believe that every business is going to realize at some point in the near future that, hey, voicemail is like outdated technology. We need a voice agent here to answer these calls. And so I think it's really just a blue ocean opportunity. Hopefully, you all are out there taking advantage of it.
100%.
Next up, payments got an update. We have 3 default invoice reminders. This is what I would call another easy button.
Yep. This is going to be for new accounts. Like when they start out, they're going to get default invoice reminders kind of built in. You can customize those, of course, use custom values, decide when they go out and that kind of a thing. But again, reminding folks that they have an invoice is pretty critical. So now everything's kind of built right in and baked into the product.
Nice. Public service announcement. Bart just said, "Oh, I wasn't aware that it rolled out in other languages." Another thing that shockingly a lot of people aren't aware of. So if you're watching, hopefully you know that you can now buy domains in HighLevel. If you're an older customer, you just need to go into agency level settings company tab to turn it on. But once you turn it on, you can go into sub accounts and purchase domains. So hopefully everybody knows that. It's awesome, super convenient. You can manage DNS inside of HighLevel now. I was just shocked when I saw the statistics of how many people hadn't turned it on. So, which tells us they don't know it exists. So hopefully you guys can help us get the word out.
Yeah.
Another update, Calendar's got the cancellation within the widget or whatever, got an update here. I think now it's sort of like at parity with the other UX experiences in the widget.
Exactly. Yeah. So when they cancel it, ask them the question why. So then that way it gets displayed within the appointment, so that you don't just see, oh, it was canceled. Like, how come? Like, do they want to reschedule? Maybe they had a family emergency.
Mhm.
So just more insight into what's happening there.
Yeah, that's a great little update. Tina, I don't have a solid ETA, but I am waiting on that one as well. I can't wait to transfer all of my domains out of who bought Google domains? Squarespace or
Squarespace.
whatever. Yeah. Can't wait to move them out of there into HighLevel. Team's working on it right now, so shouldn't be too long. Next up, client portal and child apps got an internationalization enhancement.
Yes. So the client portal is sort of where you log into the child apps. We get this question a lot. What are child apps? They would be things like the affiliate manager, like communities, like courses, stuff like that. So now we support German, Spanish, French Canadian, French France, Dutch, Portuguese, Portuguese Brazil, Italian, Swedish, Spanish, Finnish, and Norwegian. So you can change all your settings there. Of course, you'd have to be like a manager or an admin of that client portal, and then it's just right there under Manage Account. Go to the languages, and you can see them there.
Yeah, this is super exciting. Folks that are trying to build and run communities in those other regions, this is your week. So go test it out. Let us know how the translations look. Next up, we have an update to phone numbers. Call recording field now mandatory for compliance. I saw a bunch of people asking questions around this, Ryan. What's the haps?
Yeah, so when you record people, you generally, this is like a jurisdictional thing, but I think we just want to cover it across the board. When you're recording somebody, you have to tell them you're recording them. And so this sort of makes sure that you do that.
I saw some people arguing, well, in my state, that's not a law yet or whatever.
Exactly.
But I think now it's just, you got to do it.
It's kind of like building codes, right? They say this is built to code. Code is the least acceptable building. Like we can always do better, right? So I think more transparency in what's happening is good for building trust with your customers. And so I would recommend doing that all the time.
All right, our next update is a fun one. So the Quick Wins Playbook that we made a few years ago is one of our most watched series on YouTube for obvious reasons, and it got a revamp. So now the 2025 edition is out. It should be in your university.gohighlevel.com. If you don't see it, please try logging in an incognito browser first. If you still don't see it, then ping support and they'll make sure you get access to it. But you should see it in there. And yeah, it's a revamp of basically, hey, here are the quickest ways to generate wins with HighLevel. So check it out. Let us know what you think.
Amazing.
Funnels and website preview got a big update here. And this one, I saw that the label was like preview, but this is actually basically mobile view, right?
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of obviously like back-end things that are happening with the servers and everything talking to one another, compressing all the code. And so that's essentially what happened here is that we did a lot of back-end work to make things a lot faster.
Which is huge. So basically, if you've been following along, obviously we're always working on speed improvements, but we got the desktop websites and funnel speed up really great, but the mobile was still kind of in, I think it wasn't green, it was like blue in the 80s, I think. Yeah. And now we're in the green in the 90s. So you should see the mobile version of your sites load much more quickly now. So test it out, let us know, but they should be blazingly fast now. Some other updates that came out this week. Contacts tag update public API. Okay, that's nice. More APIs. If you know what that means, you're probably psyched.
Yeah, if you want to update contact tags, there's an API for you.
I'm surprised that that hasn't existed already. That seems like a big one. So I bet a lot of people are really excited about that one. Support for querying multiple statuses and invoices and estimates API. Another API.
That was your ask. That was a big ask from Chase. So.
Yeah, that's right. I was dying for that one. Agency distributed marketplace apps are now available on the Starter 97 plan. I saw that. What does that mean? They weren't before, now they are?
Yeah, so agencies on the starter plan can now install the agency level apps. So there's sort of a setting when the developers are creating the apps, what it's for, and if it's built for agencies, but it could really be useful for just sort of single sub accounts on the $97 plan, that they now have the ability to tap into that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Forms, surveys, quizzes, they all got reCAPTCHA v3, which, correct me if I'm wrong, it's not like a checkbox on the front end, it just runs in the background.
Yeah, nothing. You shouldn't see anything with this unless you're a robot. And if you're a robot, you might be challenged. But this all happens in the background. You don't have to do anything, but it just helps to lessen the amount of bot traffic and denial of service attacks, stuff like that.
Oh, you don't even have to drag in a reCAPTCHA element. It just applies to all forms?
That is my understanding, yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Ecom, hiding background memberships, communities, Go Collab products from the product list page.
Yeah. So this one, I believe what was happening is if you added any of the products that you had, for ecom, that it would display in other areas and vice versa. And so now this will prevent that from happening sort of in the background without you knowing.
Nice. Invoice has got an update. We have enhanced product description with intact formatting across products. That was a nice little update. And OAuth-based authentication for Lead Connector app on Zapier.
Yeah, just better controls. We're moving to OAuth. If you don't know what OAuth is, the big thing that it helps with is that it creates like a logged in session instead of just sharing an API key. And when you're messing around with the API keys, it gets kind of dangerous because that's the key. So you don't want to like leave keys all over the neighborhood for your house. You'd want to actually authenticate with the username and password, and that's what OAuth is all about.
Nice. All right, it is time for my favorite part of the show where we get to talk about some extremely cool upcoming releases. Ryan I love it when you do the throwback gifts. I remember watching
thinking about Tony Hawk recently, and I was like, we need to feature the GOAT.
I remember watching him throw that down live, and it was unbelievably cool. What a fun memory. All right, Ryan, what do we got coming in the near future? New add contact drawer. Ooh.
Yes. So this seems kind of, I didn't have a great way to display this, so my apologies. But there's a new drawer that's going to be on the right-hand side when you're adding a contact. And the cool thing is, yes, it looks better. It's more in line with our new design language and so forth. But the big thing here is that you're going to be able to customize what the mandatory fields are. So maybe your business or whatever sub-account you're working with has like a certain types of information that they really want to get a hold of. So you can change what those things are. And in the next slide, you'll see sort of the UI for that. So you can sort of make different things within that record mandatory to be able to capture, and that will help make sure that you have nice, clean data and everything that you need right at your fingertips.
Very cool. I like it. Mike, oh, sorry. I think you asked this earlier and I didn't get to it. Can edits be done on surveys, including top image with Inline Editor? I don't know. Test it out. Hop into your account and give it a whirl and let us know what you find out.
Yeah.
Tina doesn't even lock her doors in Dubai, which makes sense because you don't want to get in trouble in Dubai is what I was told. And so, yeah, it sounds like a super safe place.
Moving right along.
All right. What is our next coming soon? Unified activity logs. Ooh, looks nice. What do we got going on here?
This is something that I think a lot of people have sort of complained about or said, hey, why is it this way? We're combining the right side activity log, the conversation, panel activities, and the audit logs into one place so that you can go to a contact and be like, what the heck is happening, and see sort of a verbose explanation of what's going on. So this is great for troubleshooting or just getting a sense of like, what is this user doing with us? Or I should say contact. So love seeing this stuff because it really helps to sort of get a bird's eye view of what's happening.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is one of those things that I would consider like enterprise level stuff. But man, when you're trying to figure something out, it is so helpful to have the more information, the better, right? And this is really cool.
It's not just a bunch of code, and audit logs have been criticized, rightfully so. It actually looks nice, and you can click into things and say, oh, this happened. Okay, take me to that place.
Yeah, so that's really awesome.
Cool.
Makes me think of the cool trace the path thing in workflows. Have you used that yet?
Yeah, we're using it right now to run down all of our emails. So
it's so cool, isn't it? I mean,
it is.
Hopefully everybody knows if you're trying to troubleshoot and figure out why didn't they go down the right path or whatever in a workflow, you can hit I forget what it's actually called, but it will highlight the path that the contact took through the workflow. It's so helpful when it comes to troubleshooting.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, that was a solid week of releases, Ryan, and I can't wait to see what's coming next week. Let me turn this off here. But yeah, until then, hopefully you guys have a great weekend and an awesome week, and we'll see you again next Friday.
Take care, guys. See ya.